Read for school. Read a recipe.
Feel and finally chop the onion.
Read a magazine. Read anything you want. Orcam Read makes reading simple. Available now at orcam.com.
We do it.
I've been investing in crypto for a while now. I just put in a couple dollars every week, but why am I charged a fee every time? Well, Robinhood doesn't charge commissions. Stack those coins up over the long term. You can even do this automatically. What do you mean automatically? With Robinhood, you can automatically invest a recurring amount. You can pick out how much to invest and how often, and they handle the rest. Saves you a lot of time and money.
Rated mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, let's rock.
Broadcasting from the Big Peach of Atlanta, Georgia. A show unfiltered, unscripted, raw. The Patriot Angle Podcast.
Alrighty, guys, welcome to the show of shows. Welcome to the Patriot Angle Podcast, unfiltered, with Michael Gardner, guys. On the show today, we have Jerry Hill out of U.S. Freedom Fighters. Welcome back to the show, Jerry. It's been a hot minute, sir. How you doing?
Doing great. Always glad to be back with the Patriot Angle Podcast, and always proud to represent U.S. Freedom Fighters, the home of unity, support, family, and freedom.
Amen to that, brother. Since we last talked here on the show, Jerry, how's everything been doing in your neck of the woods, in the great state of Alabama?
I tell you, you've got folks that are paying attention to what's going on, but you've got the majority, even in the deep South, that are blind to everything going on around us and just going about their normal hustle and bustle,
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Oh, yes, it is. Very, very scary. For those who are new to the podcast, we have Jerry on the show today. He represents a very, very great cause and a great Facebook group, which is growing literally by the margin. Every single day, there seems to be like a new member wanting to join, huh?
Absolutely. We've been truly blessed. U.S. Freedom Fighters is less than a year old. We've went through some growing pains, as you always do, but we never imagined it would be this big a year down the road.
Yeah. I mean, what are you guys at right now? I know your following is approaching. Is it approaching like almost 6,000? The last time I checked, it was like 5,000 and change, correct?
Yeah, I believe it's a little over 6 now on our main group page.
Yeah. And that group page is pretty much, it doesn't just necessarily represent your state there in Alabama. This group page, Jerry, was basically designed as an outreach type of group to pretty much reach all regions of the country, correct?
Yes, that is true. U.S. Freedom Fighters is a nationwide organization. And now you have to keep in mind, I'll just be real with you. You know, we know the way Facebook censors things. And, that's where our biggest presence is on Facebook, but we just use that more or less for a recruiting ground.
Right.
But it is open nationally. Now, if you get onto some of our other platforms, we have them broken down even into regional and state groups also to help organizational wise and to help bring people together.
Right. And that's awesome. Especially in today's times. I mean, we need to be, bringing people more together than ever before, and I think that's tremendous.
That is so true, and that's why we stress the unity at U.S. Freedom Fighters. We realize no one person can have every skill, every bit of knowledge. It takes a group to really support.
Absolutely, Jerry. I couldn't agree more. Now, folks, today we're going to be talking about a really, really key issue that I think should be important and should be addressed not only on this podcast, but I think it should be discussed even with your family members, right? Your friends, possibly your work colleagues, right? We need to address something that is very, very important and ideal in this country, especially in times that we're facing. I want to bring up the topic tactical training if we were to have to live off the grid, right? And I know Jerry can relate to this very well.
Yes, that's our main focus, what it takes for people to survive, to become self-dependent again.
Sure. And absolutely. Jerry, we've been seeing a lot of videos coming out of U.S. Freedom Fighters, the YouTube page. And then, of course, you and, other founders that had started out the group on the group page, putting out videos of tactical training videos if we have to live off the grid. And I noticed that you've been putting out a lot of videos with other types of material. You want to touch on that, Jerry?
Well, here is the thing, U.S. Freedom Fighters, our goal is to get everybody trained for all situations. But part of that includes being aware of what's going on around you, what we call situational awareness. At the end of the day, there's so many things going on right now that at the drop of the hat, our situation could change tremendously.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow.
And the key to survivability is being prepared.
Yeah. I mean, you need to be prepared because, we're facing a lot of different types of crisis, that I touch on this show and, literally like if not every episode, every other episode. And a lot of people come to think it like, Michael, it almost sounds like a broken record. Yeah, you might think it sounds like a broken record, right? The old words that our grandparents used to use back in the day. But I mean, listen, the more we talk about it, Jerry, the more people are more informed and educated, right? Because, like for instance, I've heard Brad, the co-founder of U.S. Freedom Fighters, constantly say, if shit pretty much hits the fan, what are you going to do, right? I mean, you need to learn how to stockpile. You need to learn how to grow your own produce, because listen, it's not a scare tactic. It's not fear mongering. When those shelves run empty, Jerry, that's it,
Absolutely. And you bring up a good point. I see a lot of survivalists and preppers focus on getting that stockpile, learning to grow the gardens and all. And while all of that is important, at the same time, it doesn't matter how big your stockpile is if you aren't prepared to defend it.
Oh, sure. Without a doubt. I mean, you have to defend your stockpile. You have to defend, your own little, your supply chain, right? That's what you can call it, right? It's a supply chain of your personal needs, right? You need to learn how to literally survive with basic instincts. And if you can't do that, Jerry, then, your life is going to beat you down very, very quickly.
And let's be honest about this. That's why a group like U.S. Freedom Fighters is so important in building that unity. While we teach the survival side, we teach the defense side of it also. But the reality of it is, not every person is going to be able to look down a barrel with a human on the other side of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why you need groups like U.S. Freedom Fighter to build that community. So doesn't everyone have to do that? Everyone can come together and accelerate it with their own skill set, whatever that may be, for the better of the group.
Right. Since we last talked, it's been a while, Jerry. So, besides the tactical training and all the great videos that y'all been coming out with, what else have you been trying to pretty much bring into the group? Make it more, if the words are engagement and stuff like that. What is your main focus now in the Facebook group? Because I know you have another group that we'll get into in a little bit here, that kind of piggybacks a little bit off the main U.S. Freedom Fighters. But what is your main goals as that organization? What are you guys trying to bring to the Facebook world and social media too?
It's funny you ask that, because while our focus is survival and we teach those skills, what we teach goes way beyond that. We help people reestablish that self-confidence in themselves.
Sure.
By learning that they're able to be dependent on themselves. Our goal is just to help all of our fellow Americans be prepared for anything, so they have the best chance to survive for them and their family.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's any situation. We can teach you all kind of physical skills, but if we don't help you prepare mentally, we failed you.
Yeah. And have you been noticing a bit of a change in the group as of late, Jerry? I know, there are, you guys pretty much have all walks of life pretty much on that Facebook group. And of course, your other Facebook group, which is your survivalist page. Have you guys been noticing, some type of engagement coming through, like a certain type of topic or material?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't get on our main page as much as I should.
Right.
I'm kind of the mindset, while I want to keep up with current events, I'm not going to let that become my focus, because at the end of the day, I need to be able to survive anything. And if I get focused on one topic, then I might get tunnel vision. And that's something we really harp on. Stay aware of everything, but don't get trapped in one thought process. But, folks are getting fed up.
Yeah. They are.
The thing is, we're seeing folks getting fed up, but we've been so dependent so long and been told what to do so long. We're fed up, but confused as to what to do about it a lot of times.
Yeah, and I know you guys stand by the same basic principles as we do here on the podcast, The Patriot Angle. And you guys have that motto, right? Serving the United States.
Absolutely.
Working tirelessly, right? Pretty
Absolutely.
Much. And if I may, Jerry, quote that, where you have actually on the website where it says, "We are working tirelessly to make it a better place and bring back the Constitution that our four founding fathers created."
And that sums it up perfectly. That's exactly who we are.
Right? United by a common goal. I mean, when was the last time we seen that, Jerry?
It's been way too long. We have been fooled. The government was created for our benefit. The government needs us. We don't need the government, but we've been brainwashed to believe differently.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So the one time about almost a month ago, I seen a video pop up on your content that you put out on the group page. You guys were putting together a almost it was like a flower bed, correct?
Well, actually, that was the early planting of my garden. I cheat usually, and towards the end of March, I go ahead and plant a lot of my tomatoes and cabbage and onions and lettuce and greens and that type stuff. And that's what we've been working on. And, we've been at this place where we're at for 3 years, but this is the first year we've had the opportunity to get the garden in. So we're having to build a fence around it to keep all the wildlife out of it at the same time.
I bet. And how's that going, Jerry? I mean, we are starting to get into the summer months just about. The weather is beautiful outside,
Yes, it is. I tell you, we've been truly blessed. Our tomato plants are covered in blooms. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of our folks from U.S. Freedom Fighters are aware of it, but I've got some medical issues going on with my leg that I've only got 40% circulation in it, so it makes it a little bit difficult to do some of this stuff, But instead of getting discouraged because I can't do what I want to, I push forward and do what I can do and be grateful for that.
Amen to that. And, our hearts go out to you and, your health and, please, Jerry, I can't emphasize this more than enough. Health is always important, and please, continue, taking care of yourself. That's key factor.
Absolutely. Well, we're following up, and I'm going to give a shout out to my doctor that's been my surgeon for years, Dr. Passman at UAB. I mean, he's done wonders for me in the past, so I'm going to lean on him again this time.
And I'm sure he's, doing his very best as a medical doctor, taking care of you the best way that he possibly can. And, hopefully, Jerry, all the thoughts and prayers, come your way, whether it's from this show or through social media or wherever, Jerry, our thoughts and prayers go out to you. And I hope you get a speedy recovery through all of this,
Oh, well, I greatly appreciate it. And I've got full confidence that things will go just as they should be. And good Lord knows my heart is helping people. So I feel like he'll get me back to doing that just as quick as he can.
Oh, amen to that. Jerry, I want to plug in a video. It's been a hot minute since you guys been on the airwaves coming out of AJ's Raw Thoughts last month. She had a topic that kind of struck I don't want to say a nerve, but kind of struck a what's the words? Oh boy. Kind of struck a acknowledgement. There you go. With her latest podcast episode of AJ's Raw Thoughts through the U.S. Freedom Fighters Podcast Network on Spotify. She came out with this waking up to reality, which kind of, we all need to be woken up to a reality, right? I'm just going to plug a small little clip in, Jerry, for those who may have missed it or didn't catch it. Guys, check this out.
You as a person, that's what vitamin D comes from, is the sun. And if you live in a state like I do, where you don't get a lot of your vitamin D that you're supposed to have, you have to take a vitamin D supplement, which is your D3. But if you can't stock up on that because you don't have the money to, or it's gone because everybody else that knows this and is stocking up on it themselves, because it's actually very good for your body to have it. That's actually why you get colds and stuff in the wintertime, is because you don't get enough D3, then what are you going to?
Yeah, I mean, she makes a good point, Jerry. A really, really good point. You know, like, I think today, not only, I mean, I'm using that for an example, right? Vitamin D, you get it free every single day from the sun. You know, I think a lot of people are lacking a lot of different things today. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But, it all stems from, like AJ said, our not getting outside or our environment not getting the sun we need. Have become so goal oriented and so work driven. We've got to where we ignore what we need, and that's the getting outside, enjoying the gifts we've been given.
Sure. You know, we're becoming complacent, Jerry. We're losing the key roots of what we're supposed to be doing in life, enjoying the outdoors and everything else.
Absolutely, and our medical system proves what we're saying right here. I mean, look at all. I mean, the medical community is growing by leaps and bounds. Why? Because we're not taking care of ourselves.
Right.
We're not getting out there and being active and doing what we need for our body to heal.
Yeah, and that goes all to what we're saying right now on the podcast: tactical training. Right. I mean, we're not living that way. We're relying on modern medicine when we should be relying on Mother Nature.
Absolutely. Well, and that's why, a lot of what we push at U.S. Freedom Fighters is getting back to the old ways of doing things. And yeah, it may have been a little more cumbersome to do things the old way, or may have took a little longer, but it was sure a lot healthier.
Oh, sure. And, with the videos that you guys post on social media, whether it's, U.S. Freedom Fighters or your other page, the Survivorist page, I mean, are you seeing any type of, people that are, getting the message, Jerry? Are they slowly getting it, or do you find it a little difficult because of the society we live in today?
Well, of course, with the podcast, is you being a producer, we can go in and see our views and all that, and everything we're putting out, it is steadily getting more hits and more hits. So that gives me hope that maybe the message is getting across.
Hopefully it is. I mean, I say this with all open honesty, to anybody, possibly listening, and, they're listening on the live stream here. I say this with open reality and open honesty. Okay. If you have a message, you believe that message, you should never quit on that message, because you never know, Jerry, like who that person is or who may be hearing that message. You may never have met them yet, but
I agree 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, you could say something on social media, whether it's a group page, a regular page, you're anywhere. I'm just using, Facebook for an example, but any social media platform, you would be amazed on the message that you're trying to bring out. It could inspire thousands of people that you don't even know of. You know what I mean?
It's interesting you say that. I'm going to share an experience I had with you. Last weekend here locally at one of our nature preserves, they had Earth Day celebration.
Right.
And, they, of course, with Earth Day, they had all the folks out there for Tread Lightly, nature related stuff. But one group that was out there talked about collecting rainwater.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we got to talking, and I told him some of the things that we taught at U.S. Freedom Fighters. And he was so excited. He was going back and tell everybody in his company about U.S. freedom fighters, and he was going to be keeping an eye out for us to release videos.
Wow.
That would have never happened if I wouldn't have took a little initiative and just said, this would go good with what we do.
Yeah.
And he heard that statement and got curious.
See, Jerry, you never know. It's just a small little message. It's a small little conversation you can have with somebody, and it can literally instantly touch their heart.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. Really is.
I'm a realist too. Even if I just plant that seed and it don't grow for a month or two or a year or two from now, as long as it grows, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. What's really interesting, Jerry, you might like this. We actually have that video that you actually posted, and we want to share it here with our live audience and the people that will be viewing us on our audio podcast platforms later this evening. Check this out, guys. This is Jerry on his video that he had posted on here. Check this out.
Hey, guys. Jerry with U.S. Freedom Fighters. How y'all doing today? It's a wonderful, beautiful Saturday here in sweet Alabama. Just wanted to come spend a few minutes with you. After I get done talking, I'm going to add some video clips to this that we took today at a festival called Earth Day that they have here at Hayes Nature Preserve in Alabama. It's a great thing for family and kids. They talk about conservation, wildlife, being out in the woods, leaving no trace. They talk about, different bees, talk about honeybees, a lot of great information. One thing I was excited to see is they had a trailer set up where they go around and do classes called Water Wheel. And they do a lot of training on water collection. So it was pretty cool to see that. And one thing I want to point out too, yes, learn how to survive on your own, but get out and support your community too. Get involved with these things, get to know people. You never know when you may have to depend on them. These are the kind of things we want you to understand at Freedom Fighters. Yes, we want you to be independent, but we want you to network too. And besides, when we get out and do things like this, like the guys with Water Wheel, I talked with them about some of the things we do here at U.S. Freedom Fighters, and they were tickled to death. Wouldn't let me leave until they got my contact information. And, heck, I thought he was going to follow us back out to the parking lot, to be honest about it, and want to continue to talk. I know what we do, people are kind of skittish to talk about it. But, if you break the ice, you'd be surprised how many people want to hear what you have to say. And let's get the, let's face it, it helps get who we are and what we're doing out there and helps us better achieve what we want to do, help everybody we can. So take advantage of these community events, folks. Get out there, mingle with your community, get to know them, get these valuable resources. I got free booklets on raising meat goats. Now, come on. That's $20, $30. That was worth my trip down there. Not to mention the information I got on honeybees. There's value in things like this. And don't forget to mention your U.S. Freedom family to everybody you see out there and tell them about who we are, what we do, and how to find us. Thanks for listening, guys.
They're going to get him to hunt me.
Use low flow fixtures, tubs, sinks, and toilets. Make sure the washer and dishwasher are full before night. But what about water use counters? How can we save there? We bought requires a large.
I didn't know it was a beaver.
They're so little.
Didn't know. Shot 20 teeth on the bottom. Look at this. You want to touch this bone?
Oh, okay.
Touch that. Pick it up. Yeah.
No, you can't take it.
Nice job. Good job.
I'm like, oh no. Too much of a hamburger, huh, baby? What's your puppy? What's in the basket?
That's right. We're now on Amazon Music as well as Audible. For all you guys that have Amazon Alexa devices, whether it's the Echo or the regular Amazon Alexa screen device, next time you want to listen to us on your device, just say, "Hey Alexa, play the Patriot Angle podcast," and we will pop up.
All right, guys, back to the show here. We are back, guys. I normally don't do a full-blown video like that on the show, but Jerry literally, he posted this very, very well video. And I must say, Jerry, that video was very well presented. Very well presented.
Thank you, sir. My favorite part of it was they actually provided rod and reels and bait for the kids, and you saw all the kids out there fishing in that video. Yeah. That's passing that knowledge on to that younger generation, and boy, that just fires me up.
It fires me up too, Jerry, and also puts tears in my eyes because, even in this crazy society we live in, and it's crazy, you don't see festivals or even, community get-togethers like that. And that's very rare. And when I seen that, it got my eyes very teary because that's what we need. We need more stuff like that. We were mentioning earlier in the show, Jerry, with, bringing us together more, making us more, doing more together things. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you saw in that video there at one point, there was a younger guy and a small boy putting plants in a bag. They were actually giving tomato plants and cucumber plants away. And that's actually my stepson and grandson that you've seen in that picture. So great family day on top of all the great resources.
That's wonderful. And, and the video with your family. And then there's also the other video, or throughout the video, families having fun, loving each other, being together, instead of the crap that you see on the TV, hatred and all that stuff like this. The video that you've shown here, these are the type of videos that I love. And these are the type of videos and the type of environment that, we need to bring back,
I agree 100%. And that's why I focus on things like that. Yes, I recognize and totally understand all the division is out there. Yeah. But I don't want to give it attention. I want to give attention to what we need to focus on, and that's coming back together.
Sure. More unity, more togetherness. That's what we need in this world. Absolutely. Jerry, I'm going to keep this podcast short. I want to, kind of brief on something real quick before we close it out. But this is what we need to do, Jerry. Yes, the tactical training, the off-grid type of training, the homestead training, that is all important without a doubt. Don't get me wrong. Okay. And I'm a very strong believer in all that. I just don't say it on the show just to say it, just as, just to try to sell a talking point on whether it's social media or the podcasting network world. I don't do that because I'm not that type of host. But what I am is a person that strongly believes in this type of material. and I think it's very, very important. It's viral in our society to not only practice it, Jerry, but to try to live that type of old society back again. You know.
Absolutely agree. And the base of that society was family.
Yeah.
And that's what we, that's what we are. United U.S. Freedom Fighters. We're one big family. I mean, when somebody comes in our group and posts about their wife being sick, or we had a situation the other day that one of our elderly members posted a message that was a little incoherent. And we had members get concerned because we know that she does have some medical history.
Sure.
And tried to reach out to her. And even then the messages were concerning. And it got to the point where even though some of us were in different states, we got concerned enough that we called in a wellness check.
Oh, wow.
And, she told the folks that done the wellness check, she said, it's great to know I have such a great family and friends. And that touched my heart because that's what U.S. Freedom Fighters is about.
Sure. I mean, isn't that amazing where, you guys can come together as a group concerned to literally reach out to make sure that person is okay.
Absolutely. That's what we're about.
Jerry,
we're more than just a group.
Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when is it, or where do you see that type of group anywhere on Facebook? Whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or any social media platform, you don't see that a lot. And that's amazing where you guys have a community of, basically you can kind of label yourselves as a virtual outreach type of organization where you reach out to other members and other people across the country. You're mentioning a story about, somebody that was, ill, and a lot of the members there in that group basically went along and made sure that that individual was okay. That's amazing, Jerry, to see that.
It is, and I can't tell you how much of an honor and blessing it is just to be able to be involved in something like this.
Sure. I mean, I wish we see more Facebook group pages like this, like U.S. Freedom Fighters. Willing to put out their hands and welcome anybody. It don't matter what color, race, creed, original origin you come from.
Absolutely.
We're all family, Jerry. That's the way it's supposed to be,
Absolutely. At U.S. Freedom Fighters, we celebrate the similarities of all of us and accept the differences at the same time, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, Jerry. I mean, just to see in this, it's I'm sure you guys are in, the long fight ahead of you guys too, just to keep this movement alive, because I'm sure, a lot of, the on the other side of the fence, so to speak, is, they don't like this. They want to try to, bury it, crush it, demolish it, and that's really sad,
It is. And I'll be honest with you. That's why it's forced us to open up across multiple platforms.
Yeah, I know you guys are on not only on Facebook, but you guys are on other platforms. Did you want to plug that in so maybe the listeners can listen to it and follow you guys a little bit more?
I mean, we're on Discord, we're on Twitter, Instagram, MeWe, Your Spot. The easiest thing to do is go to our U.S. Freedom Fighters website, and you'll be able to find all the social media platforms we're on. And, you can even apply for membership there on our website.
And it's USFreedomFighters.com, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, USFreedom.com. We'll be putting that on the show right now, folks. You can check it out. USFreedomFighters.com, guys. You can check out their amazing content, tremendous content. If you want to, learn something new that you possibly are not aware of, give them a big shout out. They'll love it. Jerry here on the show is one of the co-founders and presidents of the organization, along with Brad. They are the most truest set of humble men I know, and I'm going to say that to you, Jerry. I don't say a lot of things to people that don't deserve the correct title, but you two are the most humble set of men that I've met here on social media since I've been doing this podcast, now going into the third season. I mean, I wish we had more of yous out there, really.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that, and it is even more so humbling. I mean, we both have a caring heart, and we just want to see people be the best version of themselves for themselves.
Absolutely. And I'll say this before I close out, like a lot of people, they get confused on my demeanor as a character, as a podcast host. But, guys, at the end of the day, it's a character. I'm not saying I'm a fake person or anything like that, but it's character. I have huge passion of what I do, whether it's politics or, what we're talking about right now, through community, through outreach programs such as U.S. Freedom Fighters. You guys are a huge family, a great addition, not only to the Patriot Angle podcast, but a great addition to America, the backbone of this country, the country of how it was founded,
Thank you, sir. But I'm just a humble servant for the people.
Absolutely. And amen to you. And Jerry, I want to thank you and Brad for everything that you're doing. Please continue doing it. Don't give up. Don't fold the knee and continue preaching that great word there, and get that message across, because that's a message, Jerry, I think, and I personally believe this as we close it out today, a message that will truly, hopefully, save this country from the poison that it was injected in,
Absolutely. That's all we want to do is do our part. And if anybody has felt anything from this podcast today, just know that U.S. Freedom Fighters is standing here arms wide open, waiting on you to come join us. That's right, guys. And as we conclude this show, you're hearing one of the co-founders of the group, U.S. Freedom Fighters, Jerry, here on the show. You can reach out to them, guys, at usfreedomfighters.com, which we'll put in the show notes here on our Audible and audio podcast platforms, whether it's on Audible, Amazon Music, Spotify, Google, Apple, or anywhere you hear a podcast. It'll be in the show notes with their information. You can also follow them on Facebook, U.S. Freedom Fighters, and also U.S. Freedom Fighters Survivalist page. And Jerry, these are completely open to the public, right? It's not on private settings or anything? That is correct. Right. You heard it, guys. Not on private settings, completely open to the public. It's a free Facebook group page. You don't have to, pay any money or anything like that. It's just showing you that they're caring about you and your voice is not silent. You want to learn something new? Head over to usfreedomfighters.com or their Facebook group pages. Jerry, I want to thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Jerry, for coming on. And please, don't forget about us, and we hope to have you more on future episodes, sir. Been great. See y'all later. All right. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
You just heard an episode of the Patriot Angle podcast. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon Music, and Audible. Also streaming live on Twitch. Remember to follow and like us, guys, for unfiltered, uncensored, raw content. Also, please head over to www.patriotanglepodcast.com for all your exclusive Patriot Angle podcast content and material, as well as the merchandise website www.patriotunfiltered.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.